Happy snow day, everyone. I wanted to take a chance just to record a very quick video so that the folks that were supposed to be in VC today on the 2nd of February still get a chance to see a couple of the problems from your assignment this week worked out. Just one that's a little bit just new, and then a second one that's pretty challenging. Merry Christmas on the late, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything. Happy birthday. How about that? Everybody's got one of those. So, yes, these are 3 questions from your apply assignment for Module 5. So let's start off with one where I've drawn in the height for you here, but actually I think I'll take it out just so that you can see that this question could be worked in a couple of different ways. We are trying to find the area of the triangle, and we know from, 3rd grade that the area of a triangle is found usually by using 1/2 base times height. I say usually because I'm actually going to show you a very cool new formula today that isn't that. But anyway, 1/2 base times height. But the trick here is that you have to really clearly define what your base is. And then you have to know that by definition, the height is going to be the altitude, or the line drawn perpendicularly to that side from its opposite angle. So there are a couple of heights you can use. You saw the one that I had before, but here's another one from a different perspective. And notice how I'm deliberately drawing that so that it looks perpendicular. You don't want to draw something like this. That is not a height, because this angle or this angle are not 90 degrees. So if I drew that as my height, then my base would be the side that it goes perpendicularly to. I could alternately, though, do the one that you saw at the beginning, where I draw this guy, also perpendicular, but now my base would be 65. Or I could get really wild and crazy and draw, let me see how this one's going to look. It'd have to be really skinny, like that, to get that guy. But quite honestly, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that one because I don't know this side length. And if I don't know that side length, that's the base, and then I'd have to do even more work. So I'm definitely not going to choose the blue one. But either the red one or the black one will work. And since I did the red one in class on Tuesday, I'm actually going to do the black one today. That way you can see both approaches. So the trick here is that now you have to realize that we've managed to isolate a new right triangle. Right, let's see if my iPad will behave and give me a nice pretty shape here. Close. That one with a little bit different dimensions, but really close to that. That's the right triangle that I want to focus on because I have an included angle there, which means, technically I know all 3 angles. But if I know that angle 50 degrees, its opposite side would be the H, which I'm looking for because I need that for my area formula. And then I have also of course, the base that I would need. So really all I've got to do is one quick SOHCAHTOA and I'm ready to rock and roll. So let's take a look at that. If I want to focus on this angle and this right triangle, then to find H, this question mark there, I'm going to use, let's see, it's the opposite of my angle, and then I've got the other leg. So be careful about that. I've got the opposite and the adjacent, not the hypotenuse. I've got the opposite and the adjacent. Opposite and adjacent goes with TOA. So let's do tangent. So tangent of 50 degrees equals H over 52. Multiply both sides by 52. And you've solved H is 52 tan 50. Now I'm going to hold off actually putting that through Desmos because there's this thing called rounding error, which can be really pernicious in some of these problems because it can just have you off by a few decimals, but then your Canvas assignment, the auto grader in it, will catch that you're close enough. So you really need to be careful if you get the wrong, or you get it marked wrong when you're absolute positive it's right. One of the things you always want to check is rounding area error. So I want to find the area, and this time I'm going to plug it all into Desmos using the original formula here, 52 tan 50, instead of calculating that first. So let's see, Desmos, I've got 0.5 times 52 times 52 functions tan 50. Just double check I am in degrees. That's always important to note. And I see here that I have an answer of 1611.25. And I think the assignment asks you to round to 2 decimals. Now, good. So there's our area, and it would be actually in just, we'd call it units squared. If you don't have any units, then like meters or centimeters, generally speaking, to make a nice complete answer, as Ms. Glenbach would enjoy, make sure that you put units squared on that. All right, second one that I want to take a look at is the parallelogram question. This one's particularly tough just because you have to really make some cognitive leaps. You have to understand that this ratio of x to 2x is significant. So they say AB is equal to 2AD. So if I make AD x, then AB is 2x. Okay? They tell me the area of this red shaded triangle is 18 square root of 3. And they want me to find the length of the longer arm. So in other words, AB or DC, they're the same. It's a parallelogram. So if I'm working with the area of a triangle, I know that I can find my height here. Right? And I also know that, oh gosh, this is looking suspiciously like a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And the reason why I say that are two things. Anytime I see a square root of 3 when I'm talking about triangles, my little warning bell goes off and makes me think of the 30, 60, 90 special triangle, where the side opposite the 30-degree angle has a ratio of 1. The side opposite the 90-degree angle is 2 to 1 for that. And then the 60 is x root 3. And my little brain has to find ways to memorize stuff. And the way I remember that the square root of 3 goes with 30, 60, 90 is just all the 3's, right? 30, 60, 90, they're all divisible by 3. And x root 3, just having to remember that, goes with the 60. In contrast, of course, to the isosceles with 45, 45, 90, where it's x, x, and x root 2. Here, the root 2 makes me think of two sides that are equal, right? So that's just my own little brain trick. So let's give this a shot. Let's see. If I take this triangle ABD and I say, well, if it's 2x across from this big angle D and x across from the x, that must mean that this guy is 30, this guy is 60. So then, well, geez, that would make this 30 and this 60, and I could just keep going with this, but the idea being that if I'm trying to find the length of AB, I've got to somehow come up with a relationship between the area and this 18 square root of 3. So if I look at the triangle, and just let's just use SOHCAHTOA for it. If I look at trying to find the side BD, the side BD is going to be, oh wait, no, what do I want? I want a way to solve for x. So I can do that by just saying that, oh, okay, there we go. If 30 is opposite the x here, look at this big triangle, then 60 would be x root 3, which means that my area, which we know is 18 root 3, would be x squared 1/2 x times x root 3, or 1/2 x squared root 3. Well, that's interesting. So if I'm finding x, I can cancel my root 3's. That's nice. And I can see that if I multiply both sides by 2, I get rid of the half. So I can solve now. It's just x squared equals 36, 2 times 18. And yay, that's a perfect square. That means x must equal 6. And since I'm looking for the longer arm, 2x equals 12. So this problem simplified a lot if you could make that cognitive jump to the right triangle relationship. Now, there's more than one way to solve this, obviously, but this is the most direct one that I've seen. So correct answer is 12, and it would be 12 meters if we're going to be nice and sciencey with it. So there we go. Moving on. The last thing I want to show you is something called Heron's formula. And at the beginning I said the area is usually 1/2 base times height. And I said usually because we have this new formula called Heron's formula. And it's pretty freaking awesome because what he was able to do, and if you want to watch the proof of this, I put it on your CK12 page. It's Sal Khan showing it. It's pretty slick. But Heron found out that if you solve for this thing called S, and it doesn't stand for side, so just call it S. And what that is you take the sides. Whoops, I was mixing my numbers and my letters here. Let's write the formula first. Take the sides, so A plus B plus C. And it's a triangle, so there will always be 3 sides. But you can divide it by 2, not 3. I know that's weird, right? Because you think you're finding an average. You're not. All right? But this number, S, then is related to the area of any triangle. Any triangle. It doesn't have to be right or anything. It's just any triangle. If you take the square root of S times the difference of S with all of the other sides. So S minus A, S minus B, and S minus C. Take the square root of all that. That'll give you the area. It's pretty miraculous. So working this problem just now becomes plug and chug. If I want to find S, it is 12 plus 16, so that's 28, plus 25, which would be 53 divided by 2, gives me 26.5. And what I like to do on my TI is I usually stow that. The stow key is to the left of the number 1, and I usually store it as X. And the X key is to the right of the green key, the alpha key. And I like that just because then it's really easy to just say X times X minus 12 times X minus etc. But I'll write it out for the sake of the video. Area equals, and we'll take 26.5 times 26.5 minus 12, 26.5 minus 16, and 26.5 minus 25. Now this will always be a positive number because when we found S, remember S was the sum divided by 2, so it's never going to give you a number smaller than any of the individual numbers. All right, so that's a nice thing because we're just subtracting the individual numbers from it. Super importante because if you had a negative because it's all multiplication, then you would be trying to take the negative square root of a negative, and then you get an imaginary number and blah, 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 blah. That just doesn't work out. So do this. I'm going to just put it into Desmos real fast. So I'm going to take the square root of, let's see, let's do this. I'm going to just show you how to do this in case you didn't know. 26.5 equals X. Whoops. 26.5 equals X. All right, so now if I type X, you see it's not showing. Well, that's interesting. I thought that would work in Desmos, but maybe not. Let's just test it. x minus 5 equals, it's not giving me anything because it didn't actually store anything as x. Well, that's interesting. All right, so we'll just type it in. Square root of parentheses 26.5. Yeah, that's why I wanted to have an x. 26.5 times 26.5. I would fast forward through this if I were you. Minus 12, parentheses, 26.5 minus 16, parentheses, 26.5 minus 25. All right, 77.79. And I don't know that we had any units on it, so we'll just put units squared. There we go. Beauteous Heron's formula, just a plug and chug. You use it when you have 3 side lengths and nothing else for a triangle, and you want to find the area. All right, guys, enjoy your snow day. I'm going to use it to try and get ahead on some stuff, so I will be on. You are welcome to hit me up if you want to try and find some time to meet and get some help. Have a great day. Bye.